Hello and welcome back. Today we will talk about core dumps, especially core dumps of Golang application. And usually the core dumps are mentioned as just some last resort tool to save everything after or before the crash. But I think the crashes are quite obvious most of the time. We know the reason. What I'm interested in is the full state of an application with all of the memory content, the Go routines, and just to analyze it later that what's going on. And core dump is awesome. It's like having a microscope and I can just check all the details of an application. So I have a few running applications. It's a full storage ecosystem running just locally, and but it doesn't really matter. A lot of Golang application. For example, I would be interested about this link sharing, which has some web interface. So first of all, let me create some load just to have real working Go routines. So I'm just downloading one file from this specific application. Oh, yeah, it's running. Now it's time to create a core dump. So we need the PID of the link sharing, and I can do it with the G core, which is part of the GTB package in most of the distribution. Oh, and we need privilege, which is a little bit challenging if you use containers, so probably it's easier to do it from the host even if you use containers. And I have the core file, and the easiest way to check it to use Golang, which is the debugging tool for Go. So it can be installed with just go install, but I already have it. I need also the binary, which is used by this process, because the binary contains all of the debug symbols, unless you build it with something like the also LD flag something minus WV minus S. But I didn't do any special thing. I just do go install. So this binary is supposed to include all of the debug symbols, so I can start the Golang code dump viewer. So I can check the code routines, Go routines. Usually I use GRS, but I think Go routines also. And I don't have too many Go routines here. I can also ask the first 10 frame from each just to make it easier to find. Unfortunately, the grabbing is not so easy, so there are filtering options to filter based on the first or last or the creating a part, but that's not the easiest way to find if you know something inside. For example, I know that I'm looking for a Go routine where I have the present Go inside the stack. So here we are. We can see that this is where we serve the HTTP request. And this is our code. And after that, we just do something else to get the data to serve the request. So what we can see is the frame. So we can also go to this Go routine. Let's say I'm interested about this Go routine. I can just check the stack of just this Go routine, and I'm interested somewhere where I can see the HTTP request. So probably it's somewhere around here, but we will see. So let's say I'm in the 22. Serve HTTP looks good. We have request here. So let's check the variables. Oh, these are the global variables. So let's check the local variables, which are just these. We have context, a few others, but this request was an argument. So if we check, this is the HTTP request argument. And we can print out just the content of the HTTP request. And for example, this is the path which is used. So I see a Go routine and I can just dig deeper and find, for example, the source IP, the user agent, or any header, or all of the important information to do real debugging. So this is very powerful tool. Unfortunately, it's not the easiest way to find something. So in this specific case, it's possible to filter if the first or the last element is something special. But after a while, I just decided to create an other tool, which is go install C, this one, which is exactly the same. And to be honest, this uses exactly the same code, so it's just Godel. But instead of doing this interactive in an interactive way, I'm just printing out everything. Show our variables, and usually this is how I try to find some Go routines. And you can see that we have the local variables here and the arguments. So instead of doing in multiple steps, we can just print out everything and do a grep. And for example, if I'm interested about present.go, you can, oh, this is in frame 20, so I can just try to, oh, this is the Go routine what we are interested about. And we can, after that, we can check the variables. Oh, probably this one. Yeah. And the last thing what we should mention, that there is another way to do core dumps. This Go trace back. You can set it to crash and run the Go application. And in that case, either if it panics or if you send a signal to it, for example, an abort signal, then it will save the core dump. The only problem is that if you send a signal, it will be aborted. So usually it's not so useful to debug some particular information because it will be crashed and it's something like restart. And most of the time I'm interested about the state without restarting the application. So that's all for today. There are other methods to get some debugging information, but right now this is my most favorite one. So see you next time.